Hello, and welcome to my interview video. My name is Kiara McDonald, and I will be interviewing Taylor as my client. Today she came to me because of a issue that she's been having where somebody important in her life has been comparing her to somebody else. Okay, hello, welcome in. How's your day been?
My day's been fine. A lot of ups, a lot of downs in such a short day.
Can you explain a little bit more about those downs?
Like I spoke to you about our last session, I just keep getting compared to other women by him.
So I'm gonna ask you a question. Can you give me an example of what you mean when you say that you're being compared? Like, is it bodily features? Is it personality features?
I feel like it's a combination of both. Like he'll see a woman down the street, oh, your butt doesn't look like that.
Oh, okay.
And then like his friends, if his friend's girlfriend does something special for his birthday, it's like, well, you don't do that for me. You're not nice enough.
Okay.
Like I'm just constantly getting compared to other women.
Um, have you like discussed this with him where like you've sat him down and been like, hey, like those comments are not like making me feel great about myself. Have you had any conversations like that?
I feel like I have, but he's like, it's going one ear and out the other, or it's like talking to a brick wall. Like I don't know what his end game is with this, but it's really breaking me down. Like if I tell him that he's comparing me to other women, he's like, "What? How often men do? Like what are you talking about? Give me an example."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I just did. You literally did it the other day."
Okay.
So that's what's been happening.
Okay, so have you something that like you could try, right? Is laying out that like I don't like to be compared my like especially like for example my body, I like my body being compared to other women, and lay that out, lay those boundaries within detail out. If that still doesn't work, then I would start discussing pros and cons of this relationship. Does this relationship make you happy?
It, like what would be like I have to think about that. But like if I were to lay it out, like what would I say? Like would I be like, I don't like to be compared to other women. I don't compare you to other men,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, like you could literally give him the example of like the other day at blank time, you stated that I looked exactly like, or I didn't look like this woman's body. And then if he was like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about, well, then you can be like, well, if this doesn't change, then we might have to start exploring other options.
Okay, so do you think like of course I've been in other relationships and I don't think this is a normal thing to go through with constantly being compared to other people, but I just can't leave.
What makes you say that?
I don't know. I can't leave him alone.
Why can't you leave him
We've
alone?
we've been in this for such a long time. Like 3 years is a long
Yeah, 3 years
time.
is a very long time.
Big up, I mean, graduation. You know, he's been through some downs, me too, and he's just always been there.
Have you, what are like the big downs that you've been through together?
I think the big downs that we've been through, maybe when his dog died.
Okay. That's, that's draining on somebody.
Yes.
So I would say that seems like y'all lived life together and life has its up and downs, right?
Yes.
And it seems like it's a struggle for you to walk away.
Yes.
When you know, like I would say that you know that it's time to walk away.
Yes.
But you're struggling with it. And that's okay. That's completely normal. And I think if you journaled every night or every day or whatever, pick a time that works with you. Sit down, just you and your thoughts, and you
Mhm.
just write them down.
Like, what would I write down?
Just whatever you're feeling. like you can talk to it like as if you're talking to your journal. Like a lot of people, a lot of like the movies and stuff even do that, where they say like my dear diary or whatever. You don't have to do that. If that makes it easier for you, you can do it that way. If it's easier for you to talk to your like self in a future tense, talk to yourself in a future tense. Do what you need to do to get those thoughts out.
Yeah, I also just feel like I don't know what's wrong with him. Like this has never been an issue before. I don't know if I'm just not enough. Or is it like he's grown out of it, or we both grown out of it,
Maybe you have.
and he's just always done this, and I just didn't know.
Maybe that's also the truth.
I never thought of it that way.
It seems like you have a lot to think about. That's why I think the journaling would help a lot.
Journaling, and you also mentioned a pros and cons list.
Yes, on why you believe that you should, like, why you know that it's time for you to leave, and why you don't think it's time to leave. And if the pros outweigh or the cons outweigh the pros, then you know what you need to do.
I don't know if I can bring myself to do that.
It's a hard thing. These are not easy things that I'm discussing with you.
And I'm also scared for like what that means for me being alone moving forward. And like
You have friends, right?
yeah,
Then you're not alone. You have family.
and how he would react.
It may not be a great reaction, but you move in with like a friend. Maybe that makes you feel better because then you have a roommate, you have somebody, and you're not wholeheartedly alone.
Mm.
And you could spend time with your family also as a way to heal.
Yeah, I don't think my family likes him very much either, so that's been a rough thing as well.
So, I know you were talking about like your family didn't approve of him. Were you all living together, or would it be easy for you to like move out of the house
I mean,
if you were?
it would be, I mean, of course, God forbid, I'll have to get another lease. I'll have to move my stuff.
Is there a possibility that like you wouldn't have to get a new lease because like maybe your family would allow you to live with them until you can get onto your feet a little bit?
Yeah, my mom will most definitely let me live with her. It's just if something were to go wrong, like if he were to come beg for me to be back and then all the like putting me down will start again is what I'm worried about. I
Yeah.
want him to be a better partner and I don't want to throw it all away.
Right. Do you? So it sounds like you still really have an attachment to this relationship, so you don't want to throw it all away yet. Have you discussed maybe going to like a pre-marriage couples counseling?
No, I haven't thought about that.
You can also try that. That might be some other things that we can discuss.
And I haven't thought about it because he's so weird about those things. Like, if he doesn't want to talk to me about it, why would he talk to a therapist about it or a counselor? You know what I'm saying? He
Right.
doesn't really believe in therapy. Like how
Okay.
I'm in therapy. He
Okay.
doesn't believe in it. Like he's like, why do you go? Like
Have
he
you
doesn't.
explained to him how it makes you feel after the fact, and maybe try that, like to get him on board?
I have, but he's not budging.
Not budging. Okay. Maybe then that's not the option for y'all. And you
Do
lean,
my
yeah, you
pros
lean
and cons.
heavily on the pros and cons and the writing.
Okay, I'm trying to think of cons right now.
Okay. I wasn't meaning like in in this, but it's okay. We can discuss that. If you have any cons, like right off the thought, like if you had to lay down a list right now, what are some cons that you would lay out?
The putting me down
The
would be
putting
a big one.
yeah.
The wandering eyes.
Mhm.
I mean, I would put my family just like him at the bottom of the list.
Okay.
And then what else does he do? The wandering eyes. I've also caught him texting other women. I
Mhm.
think this is where the comparing may be coming in. I'm not sure.
Okay. That might be one where it's coming from. So when you say he was texting other women, was it flirtatious?
I would think so. I mean, it wasn't any meetup like text, but
Okay.
it was like something I wouldn't approve of and that I wouldn't do myself.
Yeah, if like a man texted it to you, you
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have been comfortable with it.
No.
Okay. Okay. So it also sounds like there might be some possible cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, what are some pros other than like living together?
He's funny.
Okay.
He's romantic sometimes.
When you say he's romantic, sometimes like give me an example and how long in between each example.
Like he buys me flowers
How often?
on my birthday.
Okay. So like once a year?
Yes.
Okay. What else are the pros?
He thinks about me when he goes to dinner or like business dinners or lunch.
Okay.
Little things.
Just little small things that you've
Yeah.
noticed. Okay. So it seems like you have slightly more cons, like one or two.
Hmm.
Um, but the cons also seem to be big, heavy hitters compared to the pros.
Yes.
The pros seem like little things that add up to, mean more over time, but it just doesn't seem like it seems like you're having to really search for those pros.
Yeah. So maybe I'll try to talk with him
I
again.
agree with that.
And then I don't know. I guess I'll let you know how it goes.
Okay. Well, I would appreciate that. Next session, you can, when you come in, we can discuss like what it was like when you sat him down. If that doesn't go well, maybe we can do some role play to try to get those conversations because it seems like this is really affecting you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I offered my client a couple of different techniques, one of them being journaling and doing a list of pros and cons and why they might have to leave the relationship, while also offering role play in the next counseling session. So, I believe that journaling will allow her to convey her thoughts, and then being able to reread those thoughts might put her in a better position to be able to leave the situation that she is currently in. I also believe that with the pros and cons list, you'll see that um, that she had more cons than pros, so it allowed her to start thinking about the fact that like she's already wanting out. And thank you for watching my video.